A young woman named Ally suffers from an illness called lupus. This signifies that her body's defense system targets itself rather than fighting off infections or bacteria. She often feels frail and has grown very sensitive to the sun, so she cannot leave her home and consequently has no companion. It's Ally's 16th birthday today, yet her party only includes her wealthy parents and the staff. Right then, she gets a video call from her beloved pop star, who wishes her a happy birthday. This is a present from her mother and father, who compensated him to deliver the communication. Ally is happy about it, but she's also annoyed because this attractive man witnessed her looking unwell. Later, Ally removes some dead skin while looking in the mirror and consumes all her medication. Next, she queries an artificial intelligence about how to form friendship. But the AI's suggestions all involve her leaving the house, which she is unable to do. It also talks about meeting people online, but Ally desires actual human interaction. The artificial intelligence's subsequent suggestion is to acquire an animal companion, but Ally suffers from allergies, leading her to shut her computer in irritation. Later, Ally enters the swimming pool with the help of a unique chair that carefully lowers her. She plunges into the water and remains submerged for some time to recover, but this also causes her to experience unusual vision. A peculiar scientist is tranquilizing her, and look-alike bodies are suspended in tube. When one of these bodies' eyes open, Ally awakens and understands she's nearly out of breath. She has trouble swimming, so her mom, Georgia, helps her until she's back in the chair. Later on, Ally's parents host a party for many wealthy individuals to showcase their Elysium project. It's a free-thinking paradise with pure water and fresh air where those who made it can reside as the rest of the planet falls apart. It is situated on a fully independent island nation and features cutting-edge technology and universal healthcare. A few visitors inquire about Ally, but her mother and father clarify that she must avoid unfamiliar people since she might get sick. At the same time, Ally observes the celebration through the security monitors. She sees a waiter carrying food outdoors and tracks him on the monitor to find out that young people are on the beach. Ally chooses to hide her body as much as she can and slips out of the house, which is simple since everyone is busy with the party. Two young men at the shore believe she is an elderly woman. Ally removes her sunglasses, revealing her youthful appearance, and attempts to engage them in conversation, but she is quite clumsy and struggles to make a connection. The boys depart, and Ally overhears them making fun of her skin problem. She believes her arrival was a bad idea and is on the verge of departing, but Brooke gives her a beer, leading her to remain and become friends with her. Inside the house, Georgia carries some cake for Ally, but discovers she is not there. She promptly dispatches her guards to locate her. At the shore, Ally is finding out all the rumors concerning the group of friends. She tries beer for the very first time, and it causes her to cough. Just then, the bodyguards show up and attempt to remove her, but Ally won't go and protests when a guard tries to make contact with her. All of a sudden, Ally begins to cough quite severely. However, the guards are occupied chasing the boys since they are filming them. A few moments later, the guards return Ally to the house with Brooke and bring up the beer. Georgia instantly panics, and Brooke attempts to stand up for Ally, leading the guards to pull her away. Georgia keeps on criticizing Ally, which makes her feel terrible. That evening, Ally looks for Brooke online, but she chooses not to reach out to her because she understands she will never meet her again. Meanwhile, her mother and father talk about the incident and decide they must act since young people only become more defiant as they get older. The following morning, the parents eat many supplements for breakfast before speaking with Ally. Georgia acknowledges that social interaction benefits mental well-being and reduces stress, so she permits Brooke to spend time with Ally. Brooke reveals that Georgia initially tested her and confesses she's being paid to be there, but the girls genuinely connect. Ally shows her around the house and informs Brooke that her parents' office is off-limits to everyone. Over the next several days, Ally and Brooke enjoy themselves greatly. Brooke offers Ally some wigs to test out. They take a dip in the swimming pool, view films, and also work out as a group. One day, Brooke inquires if Ali's parents are Russian, since she has heard them conversing in the language. Ali clarifies that their company conducts business globally, which is why they are fluent in numerous languages. Their business discovers plants that can heal sicknesses, and they are very health conscious. They follow a very strict diet. All food is plant. Brooke dislikes all the supplements in the refrigerator and shows Ali how to prepare soup from basic ingredients, but the staff must provide a knife since they are typically stored away from Ali's grasp. Later on, Brooke sketches eyebrows onto Ali's face to enhance her appearance. She also takes off her bandana, showing the small areas of hair on her head. Brooke then shaves them, and they share a kiss. At the spa, Ali's parents are observing the situation through all the security cameras. Georgia expresses concern about Brooke's impact on Ali and states she doesn't have faith in her. However, her husband Jeff believes Ali having a companion is beneficial. When Brooke returns home, she surprises her brother Robbie, who uses a wheelchair with the medication she took from Ali's house. She confesses she feels guilty about taking things because the family has treated her well. Robbie assures her it's okay since the family is quite distrustful. He has attempted to look up Jeff and Georgia, but he hasn't located even one photograph of them. Later that evening, an intruder goes into Ali's bedroom. She has another dream about the enigmatic scientist, and this time she hears him speaking in Russian. Beside her, a body lies open with its heart visible. Ali awakens when a blood-filled tube coils around her throat. She's so troubled by the nightmare that she phones Brooke, who is looking after Robbie. He is currently vomiting due to the medication. Ali shares her dream with Brooke and invites her over, but Brooke needs to remain with Robbie, so she can only talk to her on the phone. The following day, the girls search for a film to view, and Brooke discovers a disc containing old home videos, which she then plays. The footage displays Ali coming to this home when she was young, and Ali states that marked the final day she felt good. Brooke observes that Georgia appears unchanged after 10 years. Ali reveals that her mother passed away shortly after her birth, and she never met her father, but she was fortunate to be adopted by Georgia and Jeff. In exchange, Brooke reveals that her mother has schizophrenia and her father is not a kind man, so she only visits him every 2 or 3 years. Brooke questions Ali about her trust in her parents, noting their somewhat unsettling behavior. Ali is offended by Brooke's suggestions, considering the millions of dollars invested in her treatment. A disagreement breaks out, causing Brooke to depart. Ali continues to view the video and notices herself concealed in an unfamiliar room. Georgia mentioned that they had waited for her for quite a while before embracing her. Later, Jeff discovers Ali weeping because she believes she cannot fix things with Brooke and will never have another friend. Jeff reassures her, but remains mostly silent. A bit later, Ali is in the living room and doesn't notice an elderly woman observing from outdoors. Before long, the woman enters and Ali inquires about her purpose. The woman states her desire for Ali, then leaps onto her, shouting that she requires it before sinking her teeth into Ali's arm. Luckily, the guards show up and take the woman away. As Jeff criticizes the guards for their poor security, Georgia tends to the injury. Ali points out that the woman appears unwell and behaved as if she recognized her, but Georgia dismisses her worries, stating it was merely a random homeless person. At the same time, Robbie and Brooke look for information about the medicine's ingredients on the dark web and discover it's not for lupus. What they possess will actually transform anyone into a vegetable. Brooke calls Ali and leaves a message saying sorry for everything and wanting to make things right between them. As Ali hears it, she notices someone quietly leaving the house late at night. The following morning, Ali has a small disagreement with her mom and persuades her to allow her to visit Brooke once more. Later that day, the girls prepare a meal as a group. Georgia still doesn't approve, but she agrees to taste their food and even admits it's tasty. She also informs Brooke that she knows she can be difficult, but she hopes they can be friends. Brooke simply states her gratitude for being permitted inside the home and that she genuinely cares for Ali. All at once, Georgia and Ali begin to feel lightheaded, and Brooke admits she added a sedative to their meal as they lose consciousness. A short time later, Ally comes to in Brooke's vehicle and becomes very agitated. Brooke attempts to clarify that her parents are intentionally harming her, but this diversion leads to their vehicle crashing. Back at the house, Jeff comes back to see Georgia getting up. A housemaid intends to contact the authorities, but Jeff prevents her, stating they have their own personnel. At the hospital, Brooke is not responding to any of the medical care. Dr. Morsi finds out that Ally possesses a very uncommon blood type, and suitable donors cannot be located. Upon Jeff's arrival, Morsi informs him that Ally does not have lupus and expresses his desire to conduct further tests. However, Jeff intervenes and states his personal doctor will look after her. Meanwhile, two guards are searching Brooke's apartment. Robbie protests their misuse of authority, leading them to smash his computer and warn him they'll murder him if he approaches Ally's relative. Later, Ally is back home and seems to be doing better. She expresses gratitude to her parents for not pursuing legal action, but also decides she can't rely on anyone. Ally remains concerned about Brooke's well-being, so Georgia vows to monitor her development but prohibits Ally from meeting with her again. That evening, Ally has a dream where she wakes up in a vehicle once more, but her mom and dad are driving at the moment. When they look back, right then, Ally awakens and chooses to phone the hospital to inquire about Brooke. Morsi explains to her that Brooke is unconscious and lets her know that she does not have lupus. A very angry friend rushes into her parents' workplace and demands to know why they kept it a secret that she doesn't have lupus. Georgia states that they wish to confirm its accuracy, so they forwarded her records to multiple organizations. Every other doctor confirms she has lupus, so Morrissey simply made an error. Without speaking, Ally departs from their workplace. Later, as Ally views the old videos, Jeff provides him with the reports from the other physician. Ally declines to sort through all those documents, so she confesses she overreacted and instructs her father to forget about it. At the medical center, Robbie goes to see Brooke and has a meltdown, shouting at her because she won't wake up. When Morrissey arrives for a checkup, he tells Robbie that Ally's parents offered to cover the cost of Brooke's treatment. But Robbie remains doubtful and believes they are using Ally as the public face of their organization to gather funds they then pocket. Following this, Morsi chooses to investigate Ally's blood type, which is called golden blood. He researches its medical uses and discovers a piece about Jeff and George's hidden life extension laboratory. When a nurse mentions the time, Morsi chooses to leave and doesn't notice a second car trailing him. On the road, Morsi's tire goes flat. He contacts a service center, but they are 2 hours distant, so he chooses to repair it himself. Just then, a different car pulls up close, and its driver offers assistance. Morrissey gives him a device, and the man employs it to hit him on the head repeatedly, ending his life. That evening, Ally spits out her medication and flushes it down the toilet. Later, she watches her mother exit the house, then trails her into a room located in the garden. It looks like a spa, but Georgia is not there. Upon hearing the guards, Ally chooses to return. In the garden, she's surprised by a shape in the darkness and accidentally lets go of her phone. Once she has it, the figure is no longer visible to her. The following morning, Ally's mother and father are concerned as she is consuming food at a quicker pace and in larger quantities than normal. They inquire if she's been taking her medication, and she asserts that she has. After that, she spends a while in the swimming pool, and her mom and dad observe her swimming significantly better. At dinner, Jeff tells Ally her skin looks good, and she explains it's from being in the sun while swimming. Georgia becomes upset because sunlight causes her skin to break out, so Ally agrees to remain indoors the next day. Before going to sleep, Ally once more flushes her medication down the toilet. While brushing her teeth, she notices some red spots, and then she vomits a large amount of blood into the sink. Brooke shows up in the reflection and pleads with her to awaken, confirming this is only a dream. Meanwhile, Brooke eventually wakes up at the hospital. The following morning, Ally gets up feeling unwell once more, and she doesn't have much of an appetite. She understands her parents are adding her medication to her meals to make her ill once more, so she ensures she vomits it in the restroom. Afterward, she attempts to phone Brooke, but her connection is out. Next, she attempts to use her laptop, but her mom and dad have altered the internet password. She chooses to view the old recording once more and spots a doorway she has never observed previously. Meanwhile, Brooke attempts to phone Ally, but her calls repeatedly go to an unavailable number. She then persuades Robbie to help her escape the hospital. At dinner, Ally states she isn't hungry and plans to retire early for some sleep, which makes Georgia happy. After flushing her meal down the toilet once more, she feigns sleep when Georgia comes to look in on her. After her mother leaves, Ally slips away to go back to the strange spa. Recalling the video, she looks around the room until she discovers a concealed switch. When she pushes it, a looking glass shifts to show a lock. She attempts to use her birthday and her parents' anniversary as passwords, but neither is successful. She then attempts the date from the video, which at last unlocks the hidden door and shows a staircase. Ally descends and discovers a set of dim hallways. She walks around until she discovers a laboratory that has a refrigerator holding multiple bags of her blood. Her parents are receiving her golden blood via an IV drip, each on a stretcher. At that instant, their eyes open, causing Ally to flee, colliding with a servant as she exits. Upon arriving at the garden, a guard seizes her. Later, Ally discovers she is tied to a gurney. She describes her parents as monsters, but Jeff explains they are actually excellent parents, and Ally's blood is incredibly rare. It is so uncommon that they ask for $200,000 per pint. They confirm her lupus was caused by the medication, and they gave it to her to ensure she would cooperate. Georgia shares that she is 57 years old, and Jeff is 63. This is entirely due to Ally's blood, not because of their eating habits or physical activity. Jeff refers to Ally as the remedy. At the same time, Robbie and Brooke get to the area and look for a way to get into the mansion without being seen. Inside the laboratory, Georgia prepares a tranquilizer. Ally succeeds in freeing her hands from the restraints and seizes the needle to inject her mother with the tranquilizer. She quickly arrives at the beach and attempts to figure out her next move. Luckily, Brooke locates her and consents to assist her. When the guards arrive searching for Ally, the girls conceal themselves behind a chest. They hold back until the men have left, then go into the house and unlatch the door for Robbie as well. The friends talk about their options after understanding they cannot approach the police or the media since their parents manage everything through payoff. Attempting to get away, a car would merely draw the police to their location. Their sole choice is to hold everything. After obtaining a knife, Ally and Brooke proceed to the laboratory and ruin all the blood bags. As they were leaving, they heard classical music playing and went into an elegant office to find where it was coming from. The Elysium Project's preview is visible on a computer screen. All at once, they hear a sound and a man shows up behind them. Ally understands this is Dr. Volker, the researcher from her bad dreams. When he begins speaking Russian, the girls flee. Robbie observes on the monitors that the security personnel are pursuing the girl. But when he attempts to phone his sister to alert her, a guard confiscates his device. The girls continue to run through the hallways, attempting to locate an exit and eventually come across a different laboratory. 3 big containers hold bodies, and Ally understands they are her clone. The Elysium endeavor can only succeed if she is turned into a franchise. Ally takes a tool and begins striking the tubes, causing Volker to hurry in and attempt to halt her.